Let's proceed and do with other two models. But before I go there, actually, I have changed my mind. I want to set the variable name here so we don't have to go back and fix every file here later on. So I'm going to create a new file. So let's just select one top level file here. It's going to be Swift file. I'm going to call this API URLs. And let's create. And here I'm going to have three constants. So let's say let current location _URL. This is going to be equals, for now it's an empty string. Then we say let, and we say current location weekly forecast _URL, and this is going to be empty string as well. I'm going to say let, and the last one is our current weather, current location, and we want to have our daily forecast. Let's call this hourly forecast. _URL, and this is going to be empty string as well. So now later on we will come and change this for our current location, but for now we can just copy this and put it in our file here. So we have to do the changes in one place and not in three different files. So for our current location, for our current weather here, not current location, our modifications are done. So our string URL is dynamic now. So we can move on. Let me copy this part because we're going to need it. We move on to our hourly weather forecast. And we're going to do the same here so we can have dynamic download forecast. Again, I want to put a new property here. So it's going to be location, which is going to be type of weather location. And then instead of our hourly weather forecast URL, I'm going to copy and paste my code that I had already copied. Let's replace this. And we need to replace the URL because we cannot use the directly same URL. I'm going to copy and paste it, but we are going to change the name of the city with a placeholder %@ and the country code %@. And the rest should be fine, and I'm going to delete this line here as well. So let's copy the URL, let our variable name, and we replace it as we did with our previous lesson. So we have our dynamic URL now, and there is nothing else we want to do here. So I'm going to just copy this, move to my weekly URL, weekly weather forecast, download forecast, and let's update this one as well. So we want to have a location, which is a type of weather location. And then let's paste our code here. I'm going to rename my variables into weekly forecast URL. And let's get our URL base here and delete this one. So I paste this, and it's going to be placeholder here and the placeholder here %@. Another thing, current location URL, we have to replace this. Instead of our current location URL, we want to have the weekly forecast. Let's see, command build to get our file sorted, and this is current location weekly forecast URL. And in our other file, actually, we need to do the current location hourly forecast URL. So this will be correct. Right, I think we are done with this. We shouldn't have any more problems or any more edits here. So let's just double check it. So we have hourly, current location, okay, and our weekly, current location weekly URL. All right, we have some kind of errors now because we are calling a functions that download weekly forecast. Now we have added a new property, so we need to add this in our function call. So we have 3 errors, and each one represents our model calling here. So we are going to fix this in our next lecture.